Namaste, everyone. As usual, we begin with three Oms. Let's take a deep breath in. Our usual disclaimer: when you attend this session, you do so with the understanding you're responsible for your own well-being. Life in Yoga and I don't take responsibility for the outcome of your participation here. So please exercise caution in whatever you do. Make sure whatever you do with ease. And the rule of yoga is everything should be done without any strain whatsoever. The idea is whatever you do should be of such light effort whereby you can have meditative engrossment. So that is the prescription of yoga. So keep your awareness within, and it's a good idea to keep your eyes closed whenever you don't need to see what is happening. And that way your awareness, inward awareness, will be better. And also keep awareness of your breath. As long as the breath is slow and smooth, you're unlikely to do jerky motions or fast motions that can create injuries. So with that as the instructions, let's begin with the chakra vibrations. So as we sit straight, we begin with Lam, focused at the perineum. As we squeeze there, pressing the little finger with the thumb. Lam. Release the finger, continue. Lam. Now, bring the awareness an inch above the perineum and focusing there. As we draw in the pubic area, we do Vam, pressing on the ring finger with the thumb. Vam. 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 Release the finger, continue. Now bring the awareness behind the navel in the middle of the body, and as we draw in at the navel, we do Ram, pressing on the middle finger with the thumb. Release the finger and continue. Now bring the awareness to the middle of the chest, in between the breasts, and here we do Yam, pressing on the index finger with the thumb. Yam. Yam. Now release the finger, continue. Last time. Bring the awareness to the throat, and here we do hum, thumbs up, loose fist. Release the hand, continue. Release the hand. Continue. Middle of the head, we do chum, thumbs up, loose fist. Release the hand, continue. Now bring the awareness to the top of the head and we do Om, thumbs up, loose fist. Release the hand. Continue. Now we can go on to the Ujjayi Pranayama, the happy face breathing. So those of you who know it, please continue. And those of you who need instructions, bring your awareness to the lowermost part of the mouth that connects into the neck, the throat area, specifically the vocal cords. Focusing there, make a stretch. If you cannot feel a stretch, make a big smile and feel the cheeks pull out. And as the cheeks pull out, you'll find a slight stretch in the bottommost part of the mouth. Focusing on that, inhale and exhale with slow, deep breaths. As you inhale, you'll feel a mild sucking sensation. And when you exhale, it'll feel like a reverse sucking sensation. You need to do this with light effort so that you can have meditative focus in what you're doing over here. So those of you who are in the panelists, if you want to join in the attendee list, who want to join the panelists, you can accept the invitation. As you continue, let's do shoulder rotations along with Ujjayi. Inhale, lift up the shoulders. Exhale, rotate it back and bring it down. Continue. Last exhalation. Now, as we inhale, we lift up the hands and go all the way and look up. And as you exhale, bring the hands down and the chin down. Feel the entire hips lift up as you inhale and stretch out. Last exhalation. Now we can go on to the neck exercises. As you exhale, gently tilt your shoulders, bringing one ear towards the shoulder. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, tilt towards the other shoulder. Inhale, come back up. And continue. Last exhalation. Inhale, come back. Now we turn the head to the four sides. Right, left, and back. We do the sound ah. Chin down, we do the sound ma. So first round we do 3 times. So let's turn the head to the right. To the left. Now to the back. Chin to the chest. Now we do twice in each direction. Take a deep breath in, and we go to the right. To the left. To the back. Chin to the chest. Now we go on to the last round, once in each direction, to the right. To the left. To the back. Chin to the chest. Now straighten the head, and we do focused on the top of the head. Ah or Om, whichever gives you a better effect. Take a deep breath in, and we do 3 times. Now, bring the chin down to the chest, and we go 360 degrees around the neck. Inhale, half a circle, and exhale, complete the circle, and continue. Last inhalation and last exhalation. Now we go reverse. Last exhalation. Now you can stretch the hand in front of you. Inhale, lift up the palms and stretch out the fingers as wide as possible. Exhale, thumb in and make a downward facing fist. Inhale up and stretch. Exhale, fist into the palm and down. Continue. Last exhalation, keep the fist and go around the wrist. Inhale, half a circle. Exhale, complete the circle. And continue. Last exhalation, let's go reverse. Last inhalation and last exhalation. Elbows in line with the shoulders, fists below the chin. And as we inhale, go around the wrist, opening out the palms. And as you exhale, make the fist in and come down again. Last exhalation, let's go reverse. Last exhalation, interlock the fingers, bring it behind the head. Pull back the shoulders, stretch back the elbows, and as you exhale, twist to one side, inhale, come back. Exhale, twist the other way, inhale, come back, and continue. Last exhalation, inhale, come back. Get hold of your elbows behind the head. Exhale, pull on one elbow. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, pull on the other elbow. Inhale, come back up. And continue. Last exhalation, inhale, come back. Bring the hands behind the back. Get hold of the elbows. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, twist to one side, inhale, come back. Exhale, twist the other way, inhale, come back. And continue. Last exhalation, inhale, come back. Get hold of your hips behind your back. As you inhale, push on one hand and make a backward arch. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, push on the other hand and make a backward arch. And exhale, come forward. And continue. Last inhalation and last exhalation. Now we can cross one leg over the other, and as we exhale, we pull the knee towards the opposite shoulder and turn the head the other way. Inhale, release. Exhale, pull and turn. Last exhalation, pull and turn. Inhale, release. Now let's cross the other leg over. Exhale, pull and turn. Last exhalation, pull and turn. Inhale, release. Now we can stand up. If you don't have good balance, then in which case you can hold a chair or something. As you inhale, bend at the knees, exhale, come up. Feel the stretch in your knees and ankles. Last inhalation, last exhalation. Separate out the feet 2 feet apart, and as you inhale and exhale, go around the waist. Last inhalation and last exhalation. Now let's go reverse. Last exhalation. Now we will do the pelvic bend, and those of you who don't have good balance, you can be seated or you can hold a chair, and the rest of you keep the feet shoulder width apart, inside of the feet parallel to each other. Bring the hands behind you. Get hold of the elbows or wherever it reaches. Inhale, pull back the shoulders, lift up the chin, and lean backwards. Observe the stretch you feel in the lower spine and in your thighs and perhaps even some parts of your legs. Inhale and exhale and stay there. Take another deep breath in and stretch a little bit more. One more deep breath in. And as you exhale, slowly come up and start bending at the hips. And as you inhale and exhale, continue to lean forward, keeping the shoulder pulled back and chin up. And observe the stretch you feel from the hips down to the bottom of the feet. Slowly inhale and come up. Take your seat and we do the alternate nostril breathing. Let's do 3 cycles, 6 breaths. Begin inhalation from the left nostril. Now, bring your awareness to the chest area and mentally vibrate Haim, 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 Haim. You can make it into Haim Nam if you wish. Now we go on to the spinal mantra. We do the 7 mantras from the feet and ankle to the knees to the lowermost part of the spine, which is in between the buttocks and the back, and then the lumbar spine, the thoracic spine, the cervical spine in the neck, and then in the back of the head, in the very top, called the Shikha point. The mantra for the feet and neck are the same, that is Aim. Now let us begin from the feet and ankle with mantra Aim, moving to knees where we vibrate Shim, and move on to the base of the spine where we do Jim. Aim, Shim, Jim. Aim, Shim, Jim.
I'm Shim Jim. I'm Shim Jim. I'm Shim Jim. I'm Shim Jim. I'm Shim Jim. I'm Shim Jim. I'm Shim Jim. I'm Shim Jim. I'm Shim Jim. I'm Shim Jim. I'm Shim Jim. I'm Shim Jim. I'm Shim Jim. I'm Shim Jim. I'm Shim Jim. Now we move from the base of the spine to the lumbar region, then to the thoracic or the back region of the spine with Jim, Jime, Haim. So let's go. Jim, Jime, Haim. 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 Now we move from the thoracic spine to the spine and the neck to the back of the head with Haim, Aim, Om. Let's go. Haim, Aim, Om. 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 Now we do all the 7 mantras in sequence, starting from the feet and ankle. Aim, Shim, Jim, Jime, Haim, Aim, Om. 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 I'm Shim Jim Jam I'm Om. I'm Shim Jim Jam I'm Om. I'm Shim Jim Jam I'm Om.
Now we can go on to the first round of Bhastrika. Let's get ready. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 4. Exhale. 5. Exhale. 6. Exhale. 7. Exhale. 8. Exhale. 9. Exhale. 10. Exhale. 11. Exhale. 12. Exhale. 13. Exhale. 14. Exhale. 15. Exhale. 16. Exhale. 17. Exhale. 18. Exhale. 19. Exhale. 20. Exhale. We do a Ujjayi Kumbhaka followed by Bhramari. We can go on to the second round. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 4. Exhale. 5. Exhale. 6. Exhale. 7. Exhale. 8, exhale, 9, exhale, 10, exhale, 11, exhale, 12, exhale, 13, exhale, 14, exhale, 15, exhale, 16, exhale, 17, exhale, 18, exhale, 19, exhale, 20, exhale. Ujjayi Kumbhaka followed by Brahmari. We can get ready for the last round of Bhastrika. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 4. Exhale. 5. Exhale. 6. Exhale. 7. Exhale. 8. Exhale. 9. Exhale. 10. Exhale. 11. Exhale. 12. Exhale. 13. Exhale. 14. Exhale. 15. Exhale. 16. Exhale. 17. Exhale. 18. Exhale. 9. Exhale. 20. Exhale. Ujjayi Kumbhaka followed by Brahma. Now we get ready for meditation. Make sure you're seated comfortably, back is well supported, and palms in a nice meditation mudra. Mentally tell yourself, I give up all ideas and concepts and I care about nothing. I let go of everything, I let go of everything, I let go of everything. As you let go of everything, feel the body and shoulders in particular feel lighter. If you have a personal mantra or a preferred method of meditation, please carry on. Otherwise, bring your awareness behind the lowermost part of the sternum and feel a rising vibration going through you and out of the top of the head. And the rising vibration feels like Haim Em Om, Haim Em Om, Haim Em Om. And as you do that, we will have Om playing in the background. Mentally affirm to yourself, may I be guided to fulfill the purpose for which I am born. And with that as the thought, become aware of the senses from the top of the head all the way down to the bottom of the feet. The senses given to us to fulfill the purpose for which we are born. Whenever you are ready to open the eyes, raise the palm of your hands and look straight into the palm of your hands when you open the eyes. So with that, we end the practice session. So we are now open for any discussion questions. So those of you who are in the attendee list, if you have questions, you want to discuss anything, please join the panelist and you can feel free to speak.
Dr. Rajan,
Yes.
see, can you sometimes explain us that we do different, Bhastrika, what is the advantage of Bhastrika, all these things we do, what is the advantage of these, each one like this, so that way we'll know that it's going to help us, like that,
Okay. I have explained this before, but I'll repeat it again, that why do we do each component of the practice that we do? Are there any other questions people may have so that I can comprehensively answer everything? Okay. So any protocol for cough, congestion at night, herbal, this thing is a question. Any other questions, feel free to unmute and speak up.
I kind of have a question about clearing the nadi channels. And I was wondering, I know this might be a little esoteric. Can they, like, if it's clearing, right? It seems like sometimes it doesn't come all the way out. Is that a thing, like when you're clearing it, that whatever's coming out doesn't all the way get out?
Obviously.
Also, can you like smush?
But-
Can you smush them like when you're itching your nose? Like, does that smush them? Whatever's coming out.
That is all part of the interaction of the what we would call the body, mind, and the whatever is the content that is working through all of that. So every part of what happens involuntary in the system is part of the of the clearing, the working of the nadis. Okay. So go ahead, Maltipadar.
Dr. Rajan, is there any yogic procedures for allergy? For example, we don't know, there's some allergy. So.
Yes. Okay. So that is also incorporated in our practice. I will explain. Okay. So we'll talk about explain, chest congestion, cough at night and things. And somebody else has a question? Go ahead. Unmute yourself and speak.
Sometimes I have sinus. So what?
Okay, so that too we will take care. Anybody else has a question?
Yes, doctor, I have one question.
Yes.
We do 4 positions, right, left, up and down. How does it help us really? Just curious to know.
Very good. That will be part of the question answer I will give for what Virendra Khemsara asked. So no problem.
Thank you.
Janaki Rampalani, you want to speak? Go ahead.
Mantra these days, So can you give me personal mantra?
No, I cannot at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So now, so let me answer the question as to why we do what and how there are things we deal with, cough and exercise and sinus and all of these things. in our entire process that we do, we combine multiple elements of the yogic process. So what is the yogic process? The yogic process is that we are all created beings, and this physical creation we see, behind it there is something else. That something else is outside the three-dimensional world we see. In the three-dimensional world, you have trillions of galaxies. You look up at the sky, all of this is the three-dimensional world. Outside this three-dimensional world, which means like a fourth dimension, which we are not aware of, right? You cannot see. So in that dimension is where our spiritual being exists. And when we say a spiritual being, what exactly is the spiritual being? Okay? The spiritual being is a processor along with certain programs that have come from an even higher being. And that higher being is the cosmic flow. And in the yogic system, it is said Prakriti, or the divine mother who controls all of it. So from that Prakriti or the divine mother, this spiritual entity, which consists of a processor that is called the chitta in yoga, and all the programs that come in there, which are called sanskaras, karma kleshas, all these terms, vasanas, whatever you call. So all of these sitting together in that fourth dimension, working through, communicate into this body. In a computer sense, this processor that we are talking of in the fourth dimension is literally like the processor we have within our computer. And once the computer works through the system, it communicates into your printer, and your printer types and does whatever else it does that you make the printer do through the commands that are coming through the computer. So the commands and software are the ones that are going into the processor, the motherboard of the computer. And then this body it's making this body do. So we are only like a printer of a computer, and the computer is at the fourth dimension, right? So what we do over here is, here we clear the pathways of our communication with that source that is there in the fourth dimension, so that whatever it wants us to do, we do without questioning and without reactivity. That is how most of the universe works. Except we as live beings have ability to question and ask. So we have that questioning and asking, where does it go? Is it in the same connection that we are talking of in the fourth dimension? No, not really. All of Prakriti and creation is what is creating all of this. However, for any live being like each one of us, the Yoga Sutra says that we have a second connection. And that second connection is to God, Ishvara, who is outside all of creation and even higher than Prakriti. So anytime we go into a stillness within and ask a question, then it goes into, the connection goes into Ishvara. So how is this explained in yoga? It is said that once we are able to still the activation in the fourth dimension of the processor we have, which is making us who we are, do everything that we are doing on a moment by moment basis, when we are able to still it, then in which case we can connect into Ishvara, ask the questions, get your answers, and all of that. But what happens is, when we are in that temporary meditative state, whatever we do to connect, all we are doing is, the processor we have in the fourth dimension, the programs that are hitting it, they all get stopped momentarily when we are in meditation. But however, it is not fully gone. So at that, even though the program flow is stopped, we are still connected into Prakriti as well as Ishvara at the same time, and whatever questions we get answers to. So now, what happens given the structure? Now, All the time we are connected into the fourth dimension, into our processor and our programs, right? Now, we think we are this body. We say, hell with that. We are going to do something else. Then in which case, what happens is, the communication that is happening, which is flowing through our nadis, which comes through 5 types of communications that are coming, they get disrupted. And what are the 5 types of communications that are coming that get disrupted? Which is what we want to avoid. We want to avoid the disruption of the 5 kinds of communications that are coming in. And each one of the practices we have over here are designed to do that. So, having given you the model and the perspective, now I'm going to go into each practice, each of the 5 types of communication and the practices that we do that impact these communications. Okay? So what are the 5 types of communications? The highest type of communication is called the Udana Vayu. The Udana Vayu connects through what is known as the Atmanadi, and it connects into the processor directly, and it has access to all the intelligence of the cosmic flow. And so that is the conduit, or that is the way in which we update our immune system. And the strength of our immune system comes from there. If you have deep sleep, and if you do meditation, both deep sleep and meditation are able to imbibe what is needed to keep your immune system strong. Now, what is the second type of communication that comes? Actually, that is the most important type of communication, is what is called Prana Vayu. Without prana, this body cannot live. The prana is the controller of the living dynamics of this body. And what is that? It controls the vitality, the energy. If there is no energy and vitality regulation in the body dies. But prana is the controller of the energy and not the energy in itself. Okay? So what happens is, from a physiological model perspective, your breathing and your heart pumping, with your breathing you take in oxygen, and with your heart pumping, it circulates the oxygen along with the glucose that is stored from all the nourishment into all the cells in the body. And every cell of the body is producing energy over there, with the mitochondria taking the glucose and the oxygen, and then taking instructions from the RNA coming out of the DNA and doing whatever is needed to function in the body, right? So, but that is the physiological process. The pranavayu is the controller, and it is not the physiological process. It is, and so what happens? How do we understand this in the best way? A person can die, but on the other hand, you can put the person on different kinds of heart, lung, respirator machines and all of that, so that the heart and lung, all of them appear to be functioning. There is oxygen being pumped into the body, the blood circulation is going, and every cell in the body is getting oxygen and glucose to do whatever it wants, right? However, the person never wakes up. And if you stop doing the external functioning, the brain no longer has the control. So from a modern medicine perspective, we consider it as brain dead, and that is the pranavayu, right? So that is the second kind of communication. The third kind of communication is, each one of us, we say our DNA tells us what is the nature of our being and all of that. And the external world is demanding out of us how we need to act and react. We have families, we have relationships, we do work, we do various things. And of course, we even breathe and eat and all of that, right? So the thing is, basically all these activities that we have to deal with, all of them need energy, but also it needs additional things that are being produced by each cell in the body that are connected with different organs to function in various ways, including your ability to think and all of that, right? So that aspect of it that relates to the genes and how it interacts with the external environment is called, and of course it's also related to your cosmic program, who you're meant to be, is called the Samanavayu. And the Samanavayu is considered to operate through the middle of the body where we do the chakras. So the Samanavayu is the part that it balances your purpose of living with the energy and whatever the demands of the worlds are. So that's what the Samanavayu does. Then the next two communications, the nadis, are one's related to the fluid controls in the body, and then the last one, of course, related to the muscle, the musculature, the musculoskeletal system control in the body. These are called the Vyanavayu and the Apanavayu. So now what happens is you can quickly understand over here, within our dimensions here, we need to have good energy. We need to have good pranavayu control in our system, right? And we also understand that we need to be in sync with our purpose of life, which means the Samanavayu has to be in complete balance, which means our inner being and how we interact with the world needs to be in sync with the cosmic plan. And then the other thing, as we say, is where do the nadis for the Apanavayu and the Vyanavayu come? They are all connected through the 7 chakras. Actually, essentially through the 5 chakras they are connected. So those chakra connections need to be open. And so what happens for us, for those chakra to be activated, we need physical elements. So the physical exercises that we do. For us to be in sync with our cosmic plan, our Sushumna Nadi, through which Samanavayu is going through, needs to be in sync. So that's why we do chakra vibrations. But for everything, we need enough pranavayu to be in good control. So when we do Bhastrika Pranayam, and that was the question that Virendra Khemsara asked, when we do Bhastrika Pranayam, we have greater intake of oxygen coming into our body. Now, we have a very interesting understanding about how this deep breathing and our oxygen and things work. But even before I go there, let me complete the whole discussion before I get into that. In our first thing we do is the chakra vibrations, right? All of us understand when we do the chakra vibrations, we are doing 2 things at the same time. First thing is we are trying to balance our inner program with our external environment so that there is the nadi is related to the Samanavayu, which is the Sushumna Nadi, is in complete balance, in sync with the cosmic plan to deal with whatever we are dealing with the external world. Second practice we do after that, is the Ujjayi Pranayama. And why do we do the Ujjayi Pranayama? Each chakra, from there is where we have the connections going into the Apanavayu as well as the Vyanavayu. Vyana is the control of the fluids in the body, and the Apanavayu is the musculoskeletal control, right? So when we do the Ujjayi Pranayama, we are actually stimulating the connections with the Apanavayu and the Vyanavayu. It's principally Vyana and secondarily Apana. And in what way is it doing that? The Ujjayi Pranayama is stimulating the vagus nerve and the glossopharyngeal nerve, and essentially the component, what exactly do they end up doing? There is better communication into the brain and the throat area as well as all parts of the body. Better communication into the brain. There is an anti-inflammatory effect. So by doing the Ujjayi Pranayama, every part of the body is able to, or most parts of the body are able to communicate to the brain how much of energy needs they have over there. So once the brain has good receptivity, then the brain can respond and try to give whatever is needed for all the good functionality of the body. So we are impacting the principally the Vyana Vayu and the secondarily the Apana Vayu that are being impacted with Ujjayi Pranayama. And along with Ujjayi Pranayama, what are we doing? We are doing this motion and all of that. And what is that? That is helping towards the Apana Vayu, in the sense the musculoskeletal communication through the Ujjayi Pranayama going in there. Then after that we do that, then we do the all these exercises related to the neck, hand, and all the way till we cross the leg and pull in and stand up and bend and all of those things. Those are all one total scheme of exercises that we call as spinal alignment. We are working along the spine to align, but we are stimulating all the joints and connectivities, and it is primarily related to the Apana Vayu to stimulate the musculoskeletal system. And so the brain is receiving well enough about all the needs of the body, and because we have started with the chakra vibration, it is in sync with the cosmic flow and the purpose of our life. And after that is done, then we get into the breathing exercises. And the breathing exercise, the first thing we do is the alternate nostril breathing. And why do we do the alternate nostril breathing? The alternate nostril breathing balances the two sides of the brain. And the brain and the central nervous system along the spine, that is where you have the prana nadi, that controls the prana vayu. And what we are doing is making doubly sure, already the chakra vibration has taken care of it. The brains are already balanced, but we are making doubly sure that the energy flow that is being controlled into the two sides of the body are in balance. So we do the alternate nostril breathing. After the alternate nostril breathing, we do, because we are dealing with this population that we are dealing with, we say that if we need any cardiovascular benefit and cardiorespiratory repair function relates to Udana Vayu. Okay? So the repair function related to cardiovascular function and the cardiorespiratory function, we do with the mantras related to the Haim, and the Hom, the Haim, Nam, all of that are related to the cardiorespiratory function. And after that, we do the Bhastrika Pranayam. When we do the Bhastrika Pranayam, the Bhastrika Pranayam increases the amount of oxygen available in the body. Now, I'm going to share something that you may not have thought of, and we do have a few physicians over here. I can already see 3 or 4 of them over here. Now, what happens is the brain has an automatic mechanism where with the number of years it has been living with you, it has been sensing you, it thinks it has been sensing you well enough, just like the way your spouse thinks they know you well enough, right? So what happens is, it is deciding this is what is needed for the body. This much of energy needs to go to each part of the body. So to make sure there is enough energy, I'm going to make sure that this person is, the breath rate is enough and the person is breathing enough to take in enough oxygen. And from time to time, whenever we need to remind the person to eat, we make the person hungry. So all of that, the brain is basically controlling through the nervous system. And so the brain thinks, okay, this is what it is. But the brain is exactly like your spouse. They think they know you well enough, but they don't really know you as well enough as to when you want to eat or whatever. Normally, the normal pattern is known, but specificity only you can know, right? So that is the distinction. So what happens is the brain, through observing you through all these years, thinks this is what you need. But then what happens is you may have arthritis in your knees or somewhere else where there is a need for a little more of energy, because what happens is when you have an arthritic knee or the osteoarthritic knee, the cartilage has worn off, right? And when the cartilage is worn off, when the knee joint has to bend between the the two sides of the leg, right? When it has to bend, the smooth surface that it glides through the cartilage, it's no longer smooth. So the connective tissues, the tendons, the ligaments, the muscles that are holding it and making it move, they need more energy to make it move. And the brain is not as brainy as you think. So what is happening is, it doesn't realize you need a walking stick or you need a support of the hand or whatever, but instead what it is it simply says, you're only going to get so much energy because this is how you have been living all your life. So now what happens is, the brain, instead of automatically controlling your breath, which you normally do, you're not even thinking of your breath, right? So what happens is, we start doing active breathing. When we start active breathing, the brain says, hey, somebody is taking over my function. But then it knows who that somebody is. You're the Lord and Master within, right? So when you start taking over the function and you start breathing in, you breathe 20 breaths and you breathe in like this. The brain says, okay, you breathe, fine, you breathe, that's fine. I watched you do. So what can you do? You had 20 breaths, but you're not going to continue breathing like this all the time. If you continue breathing like this for 100 breaths, the brain thoroughly gets confused. And what does it say? It says, I give up, and then you faint. And that is what you say as from a medical perspective, what has happened is, it's called respiratory alkalosis. There is too much oxygen in the blood, whereby the blood has become too alkaline, and the brain is now confused, and it decides to faint, right? So in the medical language, the fainting is called syncope, right? So that is what will end up happening when you do this. But then what do? We trick the brain. We don't let the brain faint. After every 20 breaths of inhalation, we tell the brain, or what do? We take a deep breath in with that Ujjayi Kumbhaka and hold the breath. When we hold the breath, the brain gets a pause. Hey, this person is no longer breathing, and there is so much oxygen. What is happening? The brain begins to think about resetting. And then we do the Bhramari, and the Bhramari is a relaxation that basically vibrates in every space or pocket that you have in your body. Where do you have pockets? The pockets in the body from medical language are called sinuses. When people say sinus, they think of the sinus which is there in the area in the what are called the paranasal sinuses, right? Whereas on the other hand, you have sinuses in other parts of the body too. You have the sinus of the dura that is going in the brain and that area of this thing. There is something called a Valsalva sinus, which is on the top of the heart. You have sinuses in your kidneys. So when you do, and why are these sinuses or these empty spaces built in the body? They are built in the body to take care of overflows and various other this thing, so that when there is a need for it, you can use it. And what happens is, if these sinuses get clogged, then it's a bad idea. It will create an infection, and it can even create different kinds of issues in the body. People always think in terms of the paranasal sinus. You get a sinusitis and all of that, then you have headache, you feel tightness, infection, difficulty breathing, clogging, this thing, all of that happens, right? And you get postnasal fluids that start corroding, congesting your respiratory system, all of that. However, all the sinuses in the body malfunction in different ways. The paranasal function through the respiratory and all of that. Whereas in the case of the Valsalva sinus, when that gets clogged, it creates irregular heartbeat. So if you do Bhramari, and if the Valsalva sinus is blocked, it will give relief to it, and your heartbeat will tend to become normal. Okay? So now, that is not the only cause of irregularity of heartbeat. There can be other issues. I'm only talking of the sinus-related origins. Okay? Similarly, if the kidney sinuses are blocked, it can create other kinds of issues which have nothing to do with the respiratory or heart-related thing. And so all of these the sinus related elements to take care of it, and to give that deep relaxation in the system, we do the Bhramari. Then after all of that, the breathing is done. As we do more and more Bhastrika, eventually the brain resets. And when the brain resets, what happens is, it is giving whichever parts of the body it was denying energy, because this is the way you have been all these years. Now it is saying, okay, I'm resetting and you can have a little more energy. So what is happening? The pains you feel in the body and all of that go away, right? And so any kind of degeneration that might happen, slowly they start to go away. Now, so now that I have answered all of these questions, what is the purpose of Bhastrika? To give you more energy and to reset the brain. And when people talk about, a sinus condition, the Bhramari pranayam helping to take care of that. And if you have a throat related problem, then in which case Home mantra, visualizing from there, going out, the entire respiratory element, Haim, Im, this Om, and the cardiorespiratory for this thing. So all of this we have taken care, right? So with that, we will end the session today. It is, it's 7:30 now. Somebody asked this question about depression. They put in the chat box. We will have a discussion at a later time. When you're able to speak up and I can see your face, we will address that question later. Okay? Thank you. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste. Thank you, sir.
Thank you
You
very much.
explained so good. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. It was very well explained.
Beautiful explanation.